Motorhead Garage, the program that each week introduces you to and shows you how to install the latest in exciting and innovative products for your vehicle. Now here's your host, Dave Dobson.
Hey there, you're watching Motorhead Garage presented by DragonFireTools.com. All of us here at Motorhead Garage love motorsports. We love racing. We figure you probably do too since you're watching Motorhead Garage. Well, we went to the PRI show, the Performance Racing Industry Show in Indianapolis just a few weeks back, and we've been recapping the show. We've got another recap for you this week, and to get things started, we're going to toss it over to racing legend Ted Jones.
So you say you want to get into racing, huh? Like maybe the Radical Cup Series? Only thing is you don't have a race car. Remember the old Hearst Ritter Racer? Well, this is a little bit more expensive than that, but it's really cool because you can rent this race car for the weekend. It comes complete with a crew chief, fuel, everything you need to go racing. Look at this thing. It's gorgeous. 425 horsepower, 0 to 60 in 2.6 seconds. You've even got the Formula One type steering wheel in there. Those things run about $100,000. Look at the Radical roll cage on this car. Very different. This is a car you could have a lot of fun with, and you don't have to buy it. You just rent it and go racing for the weekend. Find everything here at the PRI show. You know, junior drag racing has really taken over the nation. It's unbelievable how big a sport that is. Up until now, they were all about alike. But here's a new kid on the block, folks. Yes, sir. It actually looks like a funny car, but it has no roof on it. Why? Well, because NHRA was worried these kids could get trapped inside if it had a roof like a funny car. So they came up with this, some of the builders did, and NHRA said, yeah, okay, that's safe enough, let's go for it. Now, this only has about an 11.9 second engine in it because the age of the driver. The driver is only 8 years old. So you can't go 890 until you're 10 years old. The nice thing about these cars is as the child gets older and older, you merely slide the pedals forward, put a bigger motor in, and go to town. Nice looking car. You're going to start seeing a lot of them out there. There are interesting booths here, including a tractor pulling booth. If you're a tractor pulling fan, if you're not, you should go to see some of these incredible tractors that they build. The biggest one, the granddaddy of them all, is in Bowling Green, Ohio, every summer in August. 2024 will be no exception. They have a tractor here. We'll talk to David about that, but tell us first about the event.
Our event is the National Tractor Pulling Championships presented by Maxim Tire. It's the largest truck and tractor pull in the entire country.
Oh yeah, no question. Matter of fact, we got some footage back here, a photo. You get a lot of people.
Yes, we do. We have over 60,000 people come in for the weekend. The picture behind me is from Saturday night in 2023, and it was just a fantastic night. We had a fantastic weekend.
And you have how many classes?
We have 13 different classes, and each class pulls twice during our 5 sessions.
Okay, and it's 3 days long.
It's 3 days long, and it's always the third weekend in August.
That's easy enough to remember. Now, but the star of the show are the unlimited super modifieds.
The unlimited, because, I mean, they have 4 and 5 engines. You know, they make the most noise, they pull the most weight, make the most power. Just unbelievable class to see run.
So if you're not into tractors, it's worth going just to watch some of those guys.
Oh yes, because it is unbelievable. I tell people that haven't ever been, come see what the noise is about, because it is really cool. We have something for everybody at our event. And we do kiddie tractor pulls for the little kids to show them what the big guys and gals are doing out on the road.
And lots of black smoke.
Oh yeah, we do a lot of diesel tractors. We do, and a lot of those look like the tractors you would see pulling in a farm field, but they actually are pulling down the track.
Now, you have a tractor here that's called a Mini in your booth?
Yes, the tractor that is in our booth is a Mini modified, pulled by Renee Theobald out of Shelbyville, Indiana. And it has one supercharged motor in it, about 3,000 horsepower. Tractor weighs 2,160 pounds.
What, 3,000 horsepower?
Yes, it is unbelievable to see that thing run, and it's a wild ride. It's a very short wheelbase, and it is definitely it's actually my favorite class to see run.
I'm sure it's wheels up when they come on.
Yeah, it's wheels up, and to win the thing, you win in the first 50 to 100 feet. and they'll go 300 plus feet.
Okay, and that date again?
It is August 15th, 16th, and 17th, 2024.
Okay, you want to be sure and check that out at their website, pulltown.com.
That is going to do it for this week's look back at the PRI show in Indianapolis. But do not go away, because there's still a whole lot more Motorhead Garage presented by DragonFireTools.com still to come.
Motorhead Garage, presented by DragonFireTools.com. Brought to you by Amsoil, the first in synthetics. Campbell's Custom Care, your detail specialist. And by Italian RP, world-leading manufacturer of connecting rods and pistons.
This is Motorhead Garage presented by DragonFireTools.com. You know, everybody loves a classic car or truck. First of all, they're just cool because they don't make them like that anymore. Second, vehicles like that transport us back to our childhood. Maybe we have memories of riding with our parents in their car, maybe our grandparents in a cool old pickup truck. Most classic or antique cars are easy to find, but try to find a 40 or 50-year-old truck. That's harder to do, significantly harder. That's because trucks, up until the last 30 years or so, were used as trucks. They were work vehicles and people worked them really hard. So these days, classic truck restorations might be even more popular than car builds. Yes, this particular truck is rough, but the owner of this 1972 F100 was lucky to find a survivor at all. And when a vehicle has made it over 50 years without major changes, folks tend to want to keep the original vintage looks to that vehicle. But you want a vehicle that's comfortable, and it has to be safe and fun to drive as well. So most restorations include disc brakes, air conditioning, and of course a new radio. And how many times have you seen a cool classic car where the builder paid such great attention to detail, but the aftermarket radio sticks out like a sore thumb with all the digital displays? Well, Custom Autosound has solved that problem, because outside, their stereos and speakers look just like the vehicle's original equipment. But on the inside of a Custom Autosound stereo, you get all the features you could want from a modern stereo system. You get Bluetooth, so you can talk hands-free while you're cruising. And of course, cruising isn't cruising without enjoying your favorite music. With a Custom Autosound stereo, you can listen to your MP3 player, CD player, or satellite radio. Hey, even if you did have all of those features back in the old days, you'd still have to listen to your favorite song through a tiny little speaker on the dash. Again, Custom Autosound to the rescue. They have speakers that'll bring out the best in your favorite music, and they look just like they came with the vehicle when it was brand new. And by the way, if you want to truly keep your original equipment in the dash, but you still want to hear your music loud and clear, Custom Autosound can help you out. They have the secret audio radio. The unit hides usually under the seat or behind the dashboard. You get Bluetooth, AM/FM radio, iPod control, CD control, and it integrates perfectly with your speaker system. And by the way, Custom Autosound also has undercover speakers that you can hide on the walls or under the seats as well. It's easy to find the right stereo for your specific vehicle on Custom Autosound's website. Just use the drop downs to input the year, make, and model of your vehicle, and you'll see photos and specs of the stereo that's right for you. In this case, the owner of this F100 went for the USA 630 model. It fits right into your dash with no modifications, and for some models, it comes with a bezel or a trim piece with your car or truck's manufacturer's logo. That was not the case with this one. We just used the original trim piece that was with it. The OEM style push buttons look just like the buttons on the original radio. The USA 630 has a USB input to play songs off a flash drive and a dock for your MP3 player, or iPod, or phone, or whatever you're using. It looks like an old radio, but when it's working, the radio has a digital display that shows the artist, the song title, and the album name, and you can actually navigate all of that right through the controls on the radio itself. Of course, the USA 630 has Bluetooth capabilities thanks to a built-in microphone, and your music will sound great thanks to 300 watts of peak power and RCA pre-outs for optional amplifiers. Some folks farm out certain jobs on their vehicles when they're doing a build. They might send the paint or upholstery to someone else, but you can put in a Custom Autosound system by yourself. This is easy to do at home. They make it incredibly simple. Easy connections. Every single wire is color-coded and clearly labeled, from wiring harnesses to aux cables to the power and speaker cables, and even the wire for your power antenna if you have one. Now, every vehicle is different, but if you just take your time, you'll be able to figure it out. John Gardner taught me that. Scott Vestal is the head of our build team here at Motorhead Garage. He says this particular truck has factory air, which made things a little tougher, but again, slow and steady wins the race here. If there was no air conditioning, of course, you can go straight in from the bottom. But because of that AC unit, Scott had to remove the original glove compartment and install the radio from the side. He also had to push some ductwork out of the way in order to get the radio into the right spot. Once he did a test fit, Scott made sure to connect both wiring harnesses and all of the labeled and color-coded wires. Of course, you should always make sure the battery is disconnected before you do anything involving your vehicle's electrical system. And once you have the unit in place, you can secure it with a few nuts and using a few washers as spacers when and wherever you need them. The knobs go on and bam, you are in business. You'll have great sounding music and Bluetooth in a stereo that looks just like it's right out of 1972. Now, these units from Custom Autosound are high quality systems that are built to last. They're built in some of the same factories alongside some of the biggest name brand stereos in the business. Every single unit is inspected and tested before it goes out the door. And if that's not enough, every Custom Autosound radio comes with a 2-year warranty. There's free shipping to the lower 48 states. I love that. For any order over $100, and outstanding customer support if you should have an issue putting this thing in. Cruise in style and cruise with a smile. Get a custom stereo just for your vehicle at CustomAutosound.com. We'll return with more Motorhead Garage presented by DragonFireTools.com right after this, so keep it right here.
Motorhead Garage, presented by DragonFireTools.com, coming to you from the Campbell's Custom Care Studio.
You are looking at a 1966 Ford pickup truck, and boy, things have changed in the last 60 or so years. A couple $1,000 for that thing, $45,000 for this F-150 Lightning, and it is a deal. But how many times have you seen people drop this much on a vehicle and then skimp on the floor mats, Luis? Now, you're from UACE. How has UACE changed the floor mat game in the last decade?
One thing that we have changed is when people want floor mats, they want something that will hold up, you know, whatever you throw at it, something that's nice looking, good, sleek, and also something that fits for your vehicle like an OEM mat. So what we do at 3D UACE when we scan our vehicles to create custom fit floor liners. And what we do is when we create our floor liners, we use a triple layer design. The top is a thermoplastic rubber. The top gives it so that it's weatherproof, so dirt, mud, sand, snow, whatever you throw at it, you can easily pop it out, hose it down, pop it back in, and you're done. If it's really caked on there, you can, you know, like a little bit of soap, brush, a little elbow grease, and clean it right off.
And then the backing, that's what really makes these mats special, I think.
Yes, the backing, that does set us apart from the others. We use a Max Spider backing. This makes it so that it gives you a good grip on your carpet. The Max Spider backing is designed for our carpeted vehicle interiors. I do know that some vehicles come with the vinyl interior. So with the vinyl interior, we still scan it so that it still gives you a good custom fit on your vehicle itself.
And you can't see it at home, but those are like little hairs on there, and they kind of dig into the carpet instead of those nubs you used to see on the rubber floor mats that always leave those marks. So you won't have that with UACE.
Yeah, that's one thing actually I wanted to show. If you want, go ahead and like actually feel it from right there. Yeah. It almost feels like a Velcro, but it won't pull up the fibers of your carpet. So it gives you a really good grip on there.
These fit this vehicle perfectly. How many different makes and models do you cover at UACE?
We have thousands of different applications. We have everything from Ford, Tesla, Honda, Acura, Volvos. If you go to our website and take a look at it, you'll see all the different applications from right there. So we go out there, we scan everything from now, and we're also expanding our database and going into older vehicles.
How do you acquire an older vehicle to scan it?
So we reach out to the community to be able to find hard-to-find vehicles. Take, for instance, some of the newer electrical vehicles or some, you know, like the older gasoline vehicles itself. So that's one thing we do is try to reach out to the community.
You have thousands, but what if you don't yet have mats for my vehicle?
If we don't have mats for your vehicle yet, one thing we do offer is the universal trim to fit floor liner. So what you can do is pick the floor liner, trim it to your exact vehicle's fit and go from right there. We offer from first row, second row, and some for cargo liners as well.
And the mats we're looking at here, these are the Kagu style mats?
Yes, these are the Kagu style mats right here. So that right there pretty much gives you all of your weatherproof protection right there.
And to me, they look super cool and sleek, but what if you're looking for something a little more luxurious?
We do offer the elegant material that gives you a nice carpeted OEM style finish to the floor liners. It's not going to be weatherproof, but it does give you a final touch on your floor mat.
The thing I love is the attention to detail at UACE. You're not just talking about specific models, but you also have different trims within that model, like the Lightning here, for example. What are some of the different trims you cover as far as the interior?
Well, for the Ford, I know that they offer different trim levels for each one, from the gasoline to the electric. So for the Lightning, this one right here, if you actually take a look, this one doesn't have the fold flat box, but there are some that does come with the fold flat box. So what we do is we have different options with or without the fold flat box. And we are also developing in the future ones that are kind of like a trim to fit, so that if you do have that option of fold flat, you can just order that one right there, or if you don't have it, you know, trim to fit and everything like that. So,
believe me when I tell you, these are the best looking aftermarket floor mats I have ever seen. They're from UACE. You can find them at u-ace.com. And you can find more Motorhead Garage and more cool products when we come back.
Massachusetts and Missouri were the first states to require driver's licenses way back in 1903. But it wasn't necessary for drivers to actually take a test. Which state was the first to require both an exam and a license for all drivers? Ohio, Indiana, New Jersey, or Rhode Island? It was Rhode Island in 1908. Coincidentally, the year the Model T made its debut. Motorhead Garage, presented by DragonFireTools.com. Industrial workbenches with integrated tool storage. And brought to you by PaintedAutoBodyParts.com, the leading U.S. auto body parts online store. Trinity Performance 333, a full fire solutions specialist company. And by the Dirt Expo, Arizona's original and largest off-road show.
Well, you guys have been blowing up the internet with phenomenal questions. The AMSOIL Tech Tip seems to be a huge, huge success. We love the comments and feedbacks. We hear you. But you also sent some questions, so we got our expert here, Len. Len, let's talk about a few of these questions that got sent in and see if we can explain a little bit about what's going on. Phil from Santa Fe, New Mexico says, should I change my oil when it turns black? Great question. What do you say to that?
I would say no, you do not need to do that. The oil turning color is the natural progression of the oil going through its lifespan. Things get in the oil, anything that the car consumes, such as gasoline, ends up in the oil through many different ways, blow-by being one of them.
Yeah, now blow-by, that's pretty cool. We actually have a graphic right here. Phil, what's happening is when it fires, it's actually blowing some of that by the rings, and it's by design. It's going to get by there no matter what. You got a massive amount of compression, so whether it's oil, like you said, gasoline, whatever's up in there, carbon, soot, it's going to go down in the oil and it's going to turn black pretty quickly.
Right, and as long as the oil is designed to handle that, to handle those byproducts of combustion, if you will, there's no issues.
Now our next email, do I really need to change my oil every 3,000 miles? Dennis from Orlando. Dennis, great question. I do, but I don't know if you have to anymore. What do you think, Len?
Well, buy a new car and look at the owner's manual. Most of them have moved to 5,000 miles. I would say that's pretty much table stakes now. Some are at 7,500. In fact, John, we've got an oil at AMSOIL, that our Signature Series, it'll go out to 25,000 miles. So as long as the oil is formulated to deal with the byproducts of combustion, it can handle that. The dispersant package, the detergency package, all those weird technical things, as long as we've covered our bases, there's no problem leaving that oil in there longer.
Yeah, it's a great idea. Len, thank you for sharing a light on some of these questions. You guys keep the feedback coming. Man, these tech tips are phenomenal. Go to the AMSOIL website, check out all their products, and send your feedback and comments and questions. We'll get some more on the air to motorheadgarage.tv.
Bob Burton is our PaintedAutoParts.com Motorhead of the Week and a U.S. Army veteran. Now, Bob says he wanted to honor other vets, but he didn't have the money to give to charity. So 17 years ago, Burton decided to build out his 1980 Dodge D50 to honor the fallen. Now, the engine is a 53 Hemi. Transmission is from a 79 Dodge van. Side mirrors from an 86 Escort. Seats from a bass boat. That's my favorite part. Rear end from an old F-150, and the wing, courtesy of a Peterbilt truck and an S10 Blazer. You'll also find parts of a Chevette, a shop light, and a mailbox somewhere in there. This thing is a Frankenstein. You know, I love the pins on the dash too. Those were his dad's from 47 years of combined service in the Navy and as a policeman. You don't have to be a car collector to be our paintedautoparts.com Motorhead of the Week. You just have to love cars. Send us a note at motorheadgarage.tv. A special thanks to Bob Burton and all those who served our country. And we wanted to thank you, the viewer, for tuning in to Motorhead Garage, presented by DragonFireTools.com. We'll see you again next week.